Loss that you got from Mike in the last few games, but Mike's sneaking off to the bar for a cold beer. Not really, he's just having a little break so we can bring Mike back for the critical games later in the day. So, over our second plate semi-final in the men's competition, Malaysia versus Singapore. Malaysia filled in a strong, powerful unit with a couple of Fijians dominant over the first part of the tournament, and were unlucky in the semi-final, the quarter-final of the main competition earlier against Sri Lanka. Singapore being well beaten by the home team, Hong Kong, in their quarter-final. So these two teams now will scrap it out for a place in the men's plate final later in the day against the winners in the previous game, China. So we're ready, said Dewi Rowlands in the centre, keeping control of this game from Hong Kong, and we'll expect an exciting 40 minutes of rugby. So Singapore to kick off. Great take and great pressure from Singapore to push Malaysian catcher into touch. Penalty created for holding on at the ball at the touch. Good pressure by the Philippines on Singapore, not letting them settle, forcing the mistakes. Great pressure, yellow jerseys are, and a great step there by Singapore. Martin Butler, Singapore, veteran of the game in Singapore, has been consistent over the last few seasons. Fine little step, showing his experience with seemingly surrounded by 3 or 4 yellow shirts, and a great little step to create a break and possibly what could have led to the opening score of the game. But Malaysia got back in numbers and have actually managed to create a turnover situation. So it's scrum and feed to Malaysia, 10 metres from their line. Critical at Singapore, keep them here, put them under pressure off this play. Tough area of the game for the referees, the scrum in sevens when there's only 3-on-3, and the early push and the swiveling around, tough area of the game to be controlled. So here we go, head and feed, and there we go, straight away, penalty awarded, spinning the scrum around by the Singapore team. Early possession here from Malaysia from deep inside their half. Great little run. Singapore trying to get back in numbers to defend. Number 13, Rambili, having a huge effect and a huge influence over this performance of the Malaysian team. Out to Sukuko. Great little palm up by Sukuko. He had a huge influence in the semi-final. The quarter-final earlier today. Linking up nicely to the young guy. Number 2, Murray, both. Lin, 18-year-old student in the Malaysian International School in his first tournament. Oh, unfortunately there, just showing a little bit of his inexperience and getting involved in the contact and turning it over at the critical time. But just picking up on Murray's both Lin's performance over the 2 days. It's great that Malaysia have found a new young international player coming through the ranks, only 18, centre in a 15-a-side game, playing up front in the 15s game, and having a great debut tournament in Hong Kong this weekend. So a great field position for Malaysia, but it's head and feed to Singapore, a chance to relieve the pressure. But the Yellows of Malaysia hoping to keep them pinned deep in their 22. Good head and feed, and there's the relieving kick from Singapore, number 6, Chang for Singapore. Not a huge clearance, just giving possession back to Malaysia, 10 metres inside their own 22. Inside the Singapore 22. Critical possession here. Scruffy at the line out. Seemed to be a closing or an infringement there. Dewi Rowlands awarding the free kick. Again, early possession to the from deep inside their own 22. Pressure from Lynn at the contact area. Well secured and well tidied up by Singapore. Should be space on the wide outside. Getting great pressure, and yeah, the knock on coming. Dewi Rowlands avoiding the knock on. So it's a scrum down. Malaysia head deep inside the Singapore 22. So it's head and feed. Ismail will feed the scrum for Malaysia on the edge of the 22. Effendi standing in the 10 slot, and I sense that if we can get the ball out to Rambili in the midfield, we'll see some fireworks. So head and feed to the game line. Nice little wrap round between the halfbacks. Rambili in, powerful player, pulling in 2, 3 Singapore players. Years of space now created. Should be easy hands, and little show and go from number 1 for Malaysia, Sakuru, and a great opening score for Malaysia.
Number 1, Antonia Sakuru.
The conversion to come. It's been a long time coming. We are just over 5 minutes into this first half of the plate semi-final, the men's plate semi-final here at the Hong Kong Football Club. And Lin to attempt to add the 2 points from wide out. Unfortunately can't do so, so as we head towards the half-time buzzer with 1.5 minutes left of the half, Malaysia 5, Singapore 0. Dewi Rowlands keen to get the game going. The guys taking on the water. Hydration is a huge factor here today in Hong Kong. Players keen to get water on their coaching staff, but Dewi Rowlands keen to get the game going again. So Malaysia to kick off. Going for the deep kick. Yellow line moving up, putting the guys under pressure. Easy possession really to Singapore, but got to attack from deep inside their own half. Number 2, Martin Butler, taking the ball to contact for Singapore. Great little step. Back in play, the veteran of the Singapore team in great recovery tackle. A little bit of momentum here. Daniel Mark, little step there. A lovely break, and that's the fatigue. Fantastic if you keep these teams under pressure. What a great 15-meter run by number 11, Jelani, for Singapore. And actually probably turning and going into the half now, with the buzzer about to sound. As a 7-pointer, you'd think, under the posts. And against the runner play, it looks as if Malaysia will be going into the second half 2 points behind. So this will be the last kick of the first half, or last action of the first half. Mohammed Hussein looking to add the extra 2 points for Singapore. And there they are. So as we reach the half-time whistle of the Hong Kong Football Club in the men's plate semi-final, it's Malaysia 5, Singapore 7. Well, just looking down at the teams at half-time, conscious of repeating myself, but this weather, this heat, is having a huge effect on these performances now as we approach the 12:30 here at the Hong Kong Football Club in Hong Kong. Temperatures up over 35 degrees now and 90% humidity, and hopefully by the time, being biased, the local guy, being biased, hopefully by the time Hong Kong team come back on, the temperature of the day will start to disappear. But tough for these teams playing around the midday sun, and all to play for second half in the semi-final of the men's plate competition. So it's Malaysia to start the second half with a score Singapore 7, Malaysia 5.
Semi-final, Singapore leading Malaysia by 7 points to 5.
So it's Ning Chang Ying to start us for the second half for Malaysia. Scrappy kickoff, trying to get control of the game. Possession now at the contact area with Singapore. A little bit of control back to it. Just sitting on the ball, you can't afford to be playing deep inside your own 22 and wrapped up by 4 yellow shirts, but the ball spewed out. Luckily for Singapore, giving them a little bit more possession and time to recover it. Great take there by number 8, Ishmael for Singapore. Lin having a huge influence in this game, a young 18-year-old kid, taking it into contact, a fantastic strength. Distributed by Hamid, and now there's some space on the wide outside. Number 3, Rambili, what a great, I think, looking at Dowie, he's awarded the try. Not sure whether he grounded it initially, but certainly was looking to get in under the posts to turn it into a 6-pointer, but a some great composure shown by Malaysia there. With number 3, Tusani Lakadamu scoring the try to take Malaysia back into the lead at 10-7 with a conversion to come. So Zuafli Zami looking to add the extra 2 points from the touchline. Yeah, no, not going to make it. So wide, so Malaysia to kick off with Malaysia leading this match 10-7 with 2 minutes of the second half gone. Switch of play to the right hand side of the field. Young boy Lin coming up and putting them under pressure. And great play. I think we're going to see a penalty. Yeah, great play by Lin again. Up, young kid showing his enthusiasm and physicality, making the tackle, releasing the man in the tackle, and then back in and creating the penalty for Malaysia to attack and build again on this narrow lead or marginal lead they have in this plate semi-final. Love little wrap round, bringing the big runners into play. Number 12, Oldham, should have probably offloaded then to Savuku, the big Fijian, could have taken it into contact, chose to dummy, and now they're back in trouble. Great tap and go, but again, number 5 for Singapore, naively Zani taking it into contact, but has managed to get away with it, got isolated. The side entry by the Malaysian players has created a penalty for Singapore. This is probably, having watched the games and kept a close eye on Singapore and these two teams throughout the tournament, this is certainly Singapore's best performance so far, putting the Malaysians under a lot of pressure, and their coaching staff will be pleased how they've developed the young team, and they are really in this game, putting Malaysia under a lot of pressure. Both teams having recently returned from the Commonwealth Games. They acquitted themselves well with the top 7s teams in the world. But again, Singapore, great offload inside. Oh, what a great recovery. Ankle tap. back up on his feet, and a fine score, showing composure. Effendi, formerly, no, sorry, got the wrong team there. Mahood, what a great try. Ankle tap, showed composure to come up off the rubber crumb carpet at the Hong Kong Football Club, often lost in contact. Some controversy, a little bit of complaints from the Malaysian team, some protection or shadowing, but Dewi Rowlands is awarded the try. So taking the score out, it's to Singapore, taking a marginal lead, 2 points with the conversion to come. Number 9, Mohammed Hossein, unable to add the extra point, so all to play for. 2 minutes left on the clock, or 2 minutes 15 left on the clock, and the score in this men's plate semi-final: Singapore 12, Malaysia 10. Always concerning you, Dewi Rowlands has just spotted an injury in full medical staff. Oh, it's not nice to see this. But in the preceding contact area, one of the Malaysian players is taken, I can't actually see which of the Malaysian players it is, he's taken a bit of a bang to the head. Hopefully it's not too bad. You can see that probably it's more of a cut to the head and a clash of heads than just a little delay at the moment in play. Chance to pick up, it's all to play for. The two teams on the field now, Malaysia and Singapore, playing for a place in the plate final, with China securing their spot in the final late today with a fine win in the previous match against the Philippines. Two good teams and two prominent teams in the Asian series, but China coming out on top of that one. So we've got 2 minutes to play on the clock, all to play for. 2 points separating the teams here at the Hong Kong Football Club. A deep kick, probably presenting easy possession to Malaysia. Great little step there by number 3, Lakamahu, Tongan player, been over in and residing in Malaysia for some time. Oh, and a critical mistake, and good pressure. And can Singapore turn this pressure into points? Critical play. Oh, unfortunately again, fatigue, tiredness, a little knock on, a little bit more composure Singapore needed then that point. And you can see from the body language of the players, the round shoulders, the breathing heavy, the hands on the knees. It's tough conditions out there today. And but that little mistake there presents probably one last opportunity for Malaysia to use this possession effectively and to move from their own 22. Good pressure at the scrum. A little bit messy in the corner. Dewi Rowlands just checking to see what happened, whether it was hacked through or kicked through. It looks as if it's been grounded or gone dead, ball gone dead. So it's a drop of 22 to Malaysia. All to play for. Exciting stuff. 50 seconds left on the clock. What's he going to do? It looks as if he's going to hit it long and put him under pressure. Not sure whether that's a good decision. And he has. He's gone long, giving possession, prime possession now at the line out with 45 seconds left on the clock. Singapore showing some maturity here, not looking to actually take the quick line out. They'll slow this down with 30 seconds left on the clock. If they've got any sense, they'll try and secure possession. Strange decision by Malaysia to kick it long at the 22. They desperately needed possession. It's a 2-point game. Big line out, critical line out here for Malaysia. They can secure possession with 20 seconds left on the clock. Oh yes, it's very, very crooked out the other side and picked up well by Dewi Rowlands. So it gives a lifeline at this last scrum of the game, the last play of the game, to Malaysia. Just inside the Singapore half, with number 8, Ismail, about to feed the scrum. Tension, the hooter has gone in the stadium, so it'll definitely be the last play of the game, the next stoppage, the next infringement. Scrappy at the scrum, but they managed to get it away. Number 3, offload. Singaporean, I think number 13, I cannot see his name, but it was a fantastic cover tackle, and the Singapore players diving and jumping all over each other. What a fine victory for Singapore against probably the run of play. Malaysia will be very disappointed. So it's the final whistle of the men's plate semi-final. The final score, Singapore 12, Malaysia 10. Singapore will now join China in the final of the plate of the men's competition at the Hong Kong Football Club later today.
Asia's rugby rivals facing off against each other. So please put your hands together and give a very warm welcome to our semi-finalists, Korea and Japan.
So here we go. Mike rejoins us.